The instability in Somalia is of growing concern across East Africa, and that's especially the case in neighboring Kenya, which has a pretty large Somali community. Somalis there complain of being stigmatized and marginalized, but that hasn't stopped them from doing a lot of brisk business, as Maleen Saeed reports from Mombasa.
Mohammed Olad makes ice for a living. He manufactures the blocks in his factory in Mombasa and sells them to fishermen around East Africa.
The fishing people, fisheries, they are going to sea, deep sea, for 1 week. So maybe every day they catch for 200 kilo, 150 kilo. So must they have to take this ice they are using to keep fresh. This guy is standing still.
Mohammed set up his business in Mombasa 10 years ago. He was forced to flee his home in Somalia because of the civil war. He says life has been good in Kenya, but that could all be about to change because piracy is now threatening his livelihood.
Most of the fishing people now, most of them, they stop doing fishing. Most of them, because of pirates and Al-Shabaab. Before we are selling every day. We are selling ice every day. But now maybe once a week or twice.
Over 2 million Somalis have come to Kenya in the last 20 years to escape the conflict there. And like Mohammed, many have done very well here. Somalis in Kenya are involved in the import and export of food and clothes. They own many of the big transport companies and are known for setting up Hawala, Kenya's most popular money transfer service. But all this success comes at a price. Many Kenyans accuse Somalis of profiting from piracy and links to Al-Shabaab. And Somalis say that has led to discrimination and harassment.
This part of town is Mombasa's main commercial areas. 20 years ago, this street would have been lined with Indian shops and tailors. But now, as you can see, it's dominated by Somali businesses. Wholesalers, retailers, selling pretty much everything from wheat to maize to even camel milk.
And customers come from as far as Uganda and Tanzania to take advantage of the cheaper prices, which can stir up resentment amongst the locals.
To be honest with you, the business they do is not very straight. They believe in cheaper things, fake products, products which the genuine one, the same name, same product, and they sell. They believe in 10 shilling profit, 20 shilling profit, because they take an apartment, 10 people sleep in it. At night it's a place to sleep. In the morning, it's a shopping mall.
This is a 7th-floor hotel.
Somali entrepreneur Hassan Sherwa owns what's soon to be Mombasa's tallest hotel. He's been involved in big business in Kenya for over 20 years. He says Somali's success is simply down to their makeup.
It's a culture. Some people, they are oriented to be employed. Some people, they are oriented to be self-employed. The Somalis prefer 100% to be self-employed. And that's a culture.
Even if the majority of Somali business in Kenya is genuine, piracy is hard to ignore. Somali pirates' attacks on Kenya's resorts and beaches have hit the economy hard, particularly its tourism industry, which brings in around $800 million a year. But analysts say the contribution made by legitimate Somali business far outweighs the cost of criminal activity.
The money we're talking about involved in the piracy, it's not more than $100 million US. And we're talking about businesses, which is a couple of $1 billion, long before the piracy story started.
Back at the ice factory, Mohammed is proud of his contribution to Kenya. He employs 6 locals who he says without him would not have jobs. After 20 years building a life, a home and a business, it is clear he and the rest of the Somali community in Kenya are here to stay, regardless of the obstacles put in their way. Maleen Saeed, Mombasa, Kenya.
And that story